Kamlesh Pandey, distinguished invitees, Convener NCCETR, Dr. Shankar, Deans, Heads of various departments, faculty members and friends, a very good morning to you all. MGM-CET and NCCETR team members, together extending a very warm welcome to you all. It's indeed a great moment for all of us to be here on the inaugural function of the 2 days national conference on challenges in engineering teaching and research. Let us begin the auspicious function with a lamp lighting ceremony and a prayer song. May I request all the dignitaries on the dais to step forward and grace this occasion by lighting the lamp.
Sharade Varvasudade Bhavade Tava Bhakti De Krupadai Gauri Sharade Vardana De Shabdade Tusudade Jagat Janani Tut Sashi Jagat Janani Tut Sashi Jagat Janani Tut Sashi Vishwamohini Tut Hoshi Jagat Janani Tut Sashi Vishwamohini Tut Hoshi Tamarupa Se Dhyan Lago Tamarupa Se Dhyan Lago Hitsamanisha Jivani Sharade Vardhan De Shabdade Tu Surade Bhavade Tava Bhakti De Krupa Dai Hovani Sharade Vardhan De Shabdade Tu Surade Shabdade Tu Surade Shabdade Tu Surade
शृण्वन्तु सर्वे दृढं धर्मं चरामो नयामो नृणां दुःखभारं लयं स्वकार्ये रतानां सदा जागृतानां भवेत् किं भविष्येऽपि कस्मात् भयम् शृण्वन्तु सर्वे दृढं निश्चयम् शृण्वन्तु सर्वे दृढं निश्चयम् इदं सुन्दरं मन्दिरं शारदाया मुम्बापुरी विश्वविद्यालयम् युवा स्यात् बलिष्ठो युवा स्यात् गरिष्ठो युवा ध्येयनिष्ठो विभूयात् स्वयं यदि स्यात् युवा राष्ट्रकर्तव्यनिष्ठ समान्ये हि दत्तं हि लोकत्रयम् शृण्वन्तु सर्वे दृढं निश्चयम् शृण्वन्तु सर्वे दृढं निश्चयम् इदं सुन्दरं मन्दिरं शारदाया मुम्बापुरी विश्वविद्यालयम् कलाशास्त्रवाणिज्य शाखाभिरूढा अमूल्य शृण्वन्तु सर्वे दृढं निश्चयम् शृण्वन्तु सर्वे दृढं निश्चयम्
I request Chairman Sir to once again kindly felicitate our guest of honor, Sri Ashwin Desai. May I request that the General Sir to kindly felicitate our Honorable Chairman, Sri Kamlesh Shukla. Thank you, sir. May I request DJ sir once again to kindly felicitate Mr. Kamlesh Pandey. Thank you, sir. May I request Director sir to please felicitate our Honorable Trustee, Dr. S. N. Kapoor. May I request Dr. Sandhya Agarwal to kindly felicitate Principal NCCETR Dr. S. K. Narayan Kedkar.
Now, convener of this program, Dr. Shankar will be felicitated.
Dignitaries on the dais, Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Anil Kakurkar, Chairman of our NGM Trust, Trustees, Guest of Honor, Dr. Gayakar sir, Guest of Honor, Mr. Ashwin Desai sir, Dr. K.G. Narayan Kedkar sir, our Director General, Convener of the conference, co-convener team, dear faculty members and delegates from other colleges. Welcome to the conference, National Conference on Challenges in Engineering Teaching and Research. this is a very apt conference in today's scenario where we will be exploring the need for survival and the best delivery of teaching and research. Vidya dadati vinayam, vinaya dadati patratam. Education will lead to the bliss at the end. That is what is said. So we are starting with the education to achieve the bliss, which is the ultimate goal of everyone. Challenges in engineering, teaching and research. There are two parts, engineering teaching and engineering research. Engineering teaching, I have some points which I would like to express. What to teach, how to teach, when to teach, whom to teach, where to teach and why to teach. So these are the points which we will be exploring. I will be giving some pointers. What to teach. Our university syllabus is always said by industry that it is lagging. There is a need to have a bridge to match the industry requirements. So what to teach is our syllabus is to be updated. Apart from syllabus, we need to have some extra courses which will match the industry requirements. The AICT new model curriculum addresses many of the issues, not only to make students industry ready or job ready, but then make them more self-confident with all the skills. How to teach? Normal chalk and talk is the best way, but apart from that there are other ways required which will help the students to have interest in learning. What are the other ways? ICT is also available for long. Moodles and MOOCs, these are the emerging techniques which promote the teaching not only in the classroom but outside the classroom also. Whom to teach? Are we going to teach the students who come to us, or we are going to attract the students for learning from us? When to teach? Should we teach in the classroom only, or should the teaching happen throughout the 24 hours? And how that can happen? These are the techniques, Moodle and MOOCs. Flip classrooms, so that the students work more at home and do the homework in the class. Now the final, why to teach? What is the need for teaching? Because nowadays there is a scenario that most of the students will go through the online courses. They may not come to the college. This has started happening in the universities abroad. Students are going for online courses, getting the jobs. So why we need to teach is going to be a good question to be answered, so that the colleges survive in the long run. Now, my personal experience I would like to tell. When I joined VJTI in 1990, and 28 years before, that time that scenario was different. Now 28 years later, when the students come to our college in the first year, the scenario is changed. So are we adapting to the change and we are delivering the needs of the students? When I joined in 1995 in MTech in IIT Bombay, the scenario there was also different. The dedication of faculty was really that I learned from IIT. The faculty are totally dedicated. Lecture at 10:30 means lecture at 10:30 only. It is like yagna, the IIT professors do their duties of lectures and practicals. The rishis used to do yagna, the professors do the lectures and practicals of the academics. My experience as postdoc in Duke University also gave me a good dimension to understand the education in abroad universities in US. There it is all autonomy. They are not bound by the syllabus which is set and which is to be followed for 5 years. The professor there gives all the notes to the students in the beginning of the lecture. So when the term starts, all the 48 lectures notes are given directly to the students. the students don't have to take down the notes abroad. They will come there with the doubts. It is doubt clearing session and more learning session. The practical assignments are industry oriented. The teacher will say, this is the industry problem I got from my client. This is your assignment. If you solve, there is no need for your test also to be given. I will consider this as your internal assessment. So this is the way different universities, different scenarios are working, and we need to change to match with the requirement. Now, engineering research. Our college has pioneered and got nearly 6 BRNS projects for the last 5-6 years, amounting to 1.5 crores. Thanks to the dedicated faculty, their hard work, and their commitment to give the results. There is one ICMR project around 1 crore. For that, this is an interdisciplinary project between the medical college and engineering college. So this is also giving good results as far as the research is concerned. And because of that, students are getting exposed and experienced with the latest requirement and challenges of the industry and research domain. So our Director General sir normally says for past 20 years, teaching institute where teaching is done. This is the first phase. Teaching institute where research is done. This is the second phase. And third phase is research institute where teaching is also done. So because of this BRNS ICMR projects, we have gone to the second phase where teaching institute where research is done. Now our aim is to go to third phase where we want to make NCCETR Research Institute where teaching is also done. Now with this changing scenario due to advances in technologies, Internet of Things, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, data analytics, there is need for the students to be skilled with these latest development so that they are absorbed and they can contribute in the industry. There is a saying in Marathi which is essence of Bhagavad Gita, केल्याशिवाय मिळत नाही, मोफत घेणार नाही. Without work, nothing is achieved, and we are not going to take free also. This is the translation. So we are working on this motto. At the end, I would like to thank all the organizing team of the conference who have worked day and night, starting from making the hall ready, uploading the requirements on EasyChair, going through the plagiarism software for understanding the papers are genuine or not. So all these arrangements are made by our faculty members. Thank you very much. There is a Bhagavad Gita shloka which is Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Tatra Partho Dhanurdhara. The meaning is wherever there is Krishna, there is victory. I would like to correlate wherever our Director General sir is guiding us, such things are happening. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Our Director General, Dr. K.G. Narayan Khetkar, has always been a source of inspiration and support throughout these years and has been instrumental in many of the achievements for this institution. May I request our Director General to kindly express the opening remarks and objectives of this conference.
Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Anil Kakorkar, Honorable Vice Chancellor Basu, Dr. Gaigar, Honorable Mr. Ashan Desai, founder of Mastic and former CMD of Mastic, Honorable Chairman Kamal Kishore Kadam, has taken special efforts to come for this conference from Nanded. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Sujir Kadamji, our Honorable Trustee, Mr. Kamlesh Pandey, Principal, Deans, HODs, delegates, faculty members, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great privilege for me to talk about the conference. Before I talk about the conference, let me congratulate the team. We have successfully worked under the leadership of principals, deans and HODs and made this conference happen today. The conference aims at challenges in teaching and research. But they say, what are the challenges? Are we doing the teaching first time? We have been doing for ages. India is famous for it. Gurukul. And what is this challenge today? Why are we discussing these challenges in this conference? So, if you think there are no challenges, if you think there are challenges, it's the perspective of looking at the problem. And one should always remember nothing is perfect. And always go for thinking. And that is what one should look at every opportunity. In most of the engineering colleges, how the teaching is done. There are exceptions. What I am talking may not be applicable for all. But it's nothing but information transfer from the teacher to the student. Transfer of information. And with this, information technology age is relevant. Transferring the information. One can get the information from any source. So many sources are today available. One can get the information. What the students are looking for is the knowledge or the information. What is knowledge? Application of information is knowledge. And this crucial part, application, mostly neglected in the studies. One doesn't know why for you are studying a particular topic. What is the application in real life? Where it is going to be used? Unless and until that is clear, one really doesn't learn much. Except taking the information, giving back the information in the examination, getting the certificate. That is not the real education, in my opinion. So, it's very important that we make this happen, knowledge transfer from the teacher to the students. And how it can be done? What is the mechanism of transfer? And that is what we are going to discuss. This 2 days conference is going to deliberate on what can be done to transfer the knowledge to the students who are coming with ambitions of learning and becoming professionals. Once we understand that there is a knowledge which is important and application of information is the knowledge, then how is it going to happen? Why are we discussing this point? If you look at the engineering profession in particular, apart from any other profession, for example, all of us are sitting here are engineers. What is the difference when you are in a crowd? Can we distinguish? But a lawyer, because of his black coat, can be distinguished as a lawyer. A doctor can be distinguished because of the test. What is so great about engineer? You are like a common man. You will be lost in the crowd. But the identity of the engineer is creative. If you look around, anything and everywhere, everything is creation of engineers. And one can see in one's own lifetime how the revolution is taking place. How the ordinary bulb has been replaced by tube light and today LEDs. Is it not a transformation? Has it happened just like that? It has happened only because of engineers. And that is what is the creativity of engineers. And that makes them different from other professions. And that is what is essential in today's education to create the interest among the students, and they should know what is expected of an education. There are many ways one can innovate the teachers. Teachers can innovate the teaching. There is nothing like a fixed rule for teaching. It cannot. One can devise one's own method how to reach out to them. And thus, today's language is not teaching. It's learning. I can go and teach on the blackboard. Nobody understands anything. Waste of time. The accountability of teaching is how much learning has taken place. And that's how it's essentially the learning method, how the student can learn. And the student is also redefined as learner, not a student. An education system has to be learner-centric and learning-centric. Then only one can achieve this objective. Apart from classroom teaching, where we religiously complete the entire syllabus prescribed by the university, we have to do lot many things, because the covering of the syllabus religiously, thoroughly gives a degree certificate to the students. And that degree certificate gives only entry for interview, nothing beyond. So one hand is the degree, other hand is the how to fill up the other hand. That is what is essential today. And that is what is known as outside classroom learning. How do we devise these methods for outside classroom learning? Beyond syllabus learning, what is required and related to the industry learning, these are what is very, very important today. And if both the hands are full, one hand degree, other hand the other thing, definitely you are going to be absorbed in the industry, and that should be the objective of any educational institution. One story I will tell you how the things get developed. We have today digital cameras. You can click and see the photograph immediately and load on the website. Very fast. But earlier days, not very fast. There was a film which is loaded in the camera, and then we have to click. One exposure is over. The film used to be for 24 or 36 exposures. Unless and until all those 36 exposures are complete, you don't develop, you don't click. One day, a father, his 3-4-year-old daughter, said, I want to take your photo. I was very happy. He gave a pose and he clicked the photo. Very happy. Then he said, show me the photograph. Where is the photograph? Beta, you have to wait for some time. I have to expose all this film. Then I will give to the developing the film. Then I will print it and show it. Then she was upset. What is the use of this dabba? Kuch kaam karne effect ho. And that was real inspiration for the father to work on this device to come up with so-called polarized camera. So a simple, innocent question from a 4-year-old made him develop polarized camera. You know polarized camera, I think some of you may be knowing. It is a film. After shooting, you just expose in the air and the film will get. So this is what is creativity. And we should learn that the student should be inquisitive, teacher should take inquisitive positively and work on it. The father could have said, you don't know this simple thing? I will wait for 76 exposures. You don't have patience. But we took it observed. He said, yes, there is a point. And that is what is the responsibility of all of us to learn from the students. Any question asked by the student is definitely a learning exercise for the teacher. The next point which I am going to touch is about the research. Many times we think that research is the prerogative of the research scholars. guide and research scholar. दोनों मिलकर research करते हैं. Most of the research is done by the student. And the research scholar works for the degree. The day the research scholar gets a degree, that's the end of research. If that is the scenario, unless and until one has a PhD program, a college cannot do research. Is it so? Please ask this question. Is the prerogative of only research scholars? It is the prerogative of every student. Every undergraduate is capable of doing research. And there are methods. We have several ways in which we can use this human resource, which is very dynamic, very capable, and we can make research happen with the undergraduate students. There are opportunities like mini projects, main projects, and there are opportunities to work beyond the syllabus. And if that can happen, the institutes like us, which are working 8 hours for 5 days, should become 24/7 hours. Always there is some work going on in the college. Some students, some faculty members are using the resource which is available to us in an effective way. And that is the real utilization of infrastructure for the creativity. If you look at, there are several things which we can think of, but I'll just tell a few things which have been initiated in India under the encouragement of the chairman, trustees, and the board of governors. What we have done? First year is a crucial year for the students. Many times they lose their career. First year failure, they say, "Chalo, jane do. I want to do my engineering and it takes LC and go." Who is responsible? Who is responsible for the failure of the student? Is the student alone or something else? When they come from 12th standard to engineering, it's a transition phase. And that is where ultra care is required for the students. And considering this, with the support of the management, we have developed workbooks for the students. First year workbooks. The focus in the workbook is on the fundamentals, basics, concepts, and there is sufficient space available in the workbook for self-study. Because the students have lost the habit of reading, habit of writing. And the workbook gives an opportunity for reading and writing. And that has helped us a lot. It brings the discipline among the students. It brings discipline among the teachers, where certain number of pages are allocated for each lecture. That much is the scope of that lecture. There are certain problems defined which should be taken in the tutorial. Tutorials are the split classrooms, like 2 batches per class with the individual teacher in each batch. That makes the students work on the problem. Reading the solution of the problem is not going to take the students anywhere. It is the first and the most important initiative which has been taken for the benefit of the students. Second thing, where the students are encouraged to take part in the national activities. Fortunately, AICT is very active. They have come up with a hackathon program where the students can participate in the national competitions. I am very proud to tell that our students have won the second prize, runner-up prize at the national level of 75,000. And our management, Honorable Chairman, after listening to this news, he said another 75,000 from MBA. Thank you very much. So this is the spirit. This is not 75,000. It is infinity, which takes not only those batch of students, but everyone who are here to take part in this competition. And that is what is required today to channelize the students in a right way. One more initiative which is taken is first year students. First year is common. but they know their discipline. Some of them are from mechanical, some of them electrical, some of them computer, and so on. So what we have done is, we gave an option to them. Do you want to enjoy your summer or come to the department? And I'm happy to say that about 10 students per department have opted to come to the department in the holiday, summer holiday. And the concerned heads of the department have devised a project for them on the lines of hackathon. So they work for about 1 month under the supervision of a teacher, complete the exercise, and at the end of the exercise, we see with the department topper and with the institute topper. And this is the beginning. The moment this goes across, every student would like to come back to the institute, not only after first year, second year, third year, and so on. So this is what is required. The student should be given an opportunity to work with their own hands, hands-on experience with the equipped laboratories which are available. So these are a few more things we have been doing, and of course in the discussions we will bring out many more things which can be done for the sake of the students, and thus we should see how we can do differently and come up with the quality of education. Today the government is really giving lot of emphasis on quality of education. All India Council of Technical Education is taking the responsibility of coming up with new curriculum, which has several new features. We will be adopting slowly because we are affiliated to Mumbai University, and Mumbai University has to first understand what the ICT wants, and then accordingly the syllabus will take shape. But in the process, although on the face of it, the teaching load is likely to reduce, but it is not so. Your physical contact with the student is reducing, but mental contact is going to increase. You are always connected to the student because it is expected that they learn much more on their own under the guidance of the teachers. That means you have to come up with excellent type of assignments which can be solved by the students. If we cannot solve, we have to solve it for them, clear their doubts and so on. So this is going to be a revolution in the curriculum of universities. That is one thing which we should appreciate. Secondly, there is a program known as TechFit, Technical Education Quality Improvement Program through World Bank. There is a separate unit, NCCETR-2018, which takes care of it. Now, the third phase of TechFit has already begun and completed 1 year. April it started, April 2017. The focus is, once again, the quality education. There are several parameters which are defined, and those who are satisfied, they are given funds to the tune of 15 crores to 20 crores for a period of 3 years. And within that framework, they have to work and show the result. That is the second requirement, which is coming up for improving the quality of education. Third, there are several opportunities for the students and teachers. Swayam, for example, AICT portal, Swayam, that is for training purposes. AICT has started now internship activities for the students. Intern Shala is one thing which can provide internships to the students. There are several other activities which also come from the government side, which can make the students go to villages and see the problems of villages. Just observe the problems, come back to the college and see what can be done. How can you improve the life? So on and so forth. There are several things, but how much are we absorbing? How much are we implementing? How much information is reaching to the students? This is all to be discussed in this particular seminar. And I am sure we can definitely achieve. Let me in the end quote Kabir Das ji, "Jin khoya tin pahiya, gehre pani parit. Mai bapura duban dara, raha kinare pai." What does it mean? Those who are daring can go deep in the water and get pearls. And those who are afraid will be sitting on the shore. So we should be the first category of people who can dare to do and get the pearls out of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable remarks. I would like to introduce one of our guests of honor, Sri Ashant Desai. Sri Ashant Desai is currently the chairman and managing director of Mastec. He co-founded Mastec Limited in 1982 and served as its advisor since July 1st, 2010. Mr. Desai served as executive chairman and managing director of Mastec Limited until January 16, 2007. After working with Godrej and Boyce for 6 years, he co-founded the Mastec GmbH. Mr. Desai is an expertise in specific functional areas such as planning and strategy, corporate governance initiatives, and active in other CSR initiatives of Mastec. He is the founder of NASCOM and served as its chairman. He serves as a member of advisory board at IT Cap Ventures. Mr. Desai has been a non-executive director at Mastec Limited since 1982 and non-executive independent director at NRP Bearings Limited since March 2016. He served as a director of Majesco Entertainment Company until June 26, 2015 and Majesco since 2012. Mr. Desai holds B from University of Mumbai, M.Tech in Mechanical Engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, Mumbai, and did his PGDM from IIM Ahmedabad in 1979. I kindly request Sri Ashant Desai to deliver his address on the specific occasion.
Hello. Can you hear me? Yeah. Good morning. Dr. Anil Kakodkar, Professor Gaiker, Sri Kamal Kishore Kadam, his friend Kamlesh Pandey, Sujit Kadam, P.P. Narayan Kedkar and S.K. Narayan Kedkar. It's a great pleasure to be here. I have been coming here thanks to P.P. Narayan Kedkar, who happens to be my guide also. I belonged many years ago. It's always a pleasure to accept his invitation. The subject today is, of course, as all of you know, is challenges in engineering teaching and research. I'm happy that you are having this function here, which is much required actually, if you ask me. And if I start talking about those challenges in engineering and research, I think I'll take a lot of time. So I don't plan to do that, fortunately, for all of you. Because the problems are wide, problems are very, very important for this nation, and problems are enduring for a very long time, and we have not found solutions, I must say. We have been very slow. Why I am saying we are very slow, and that is because many countries have passed us by in the meanwhile. It is in 1950s and 60s, countries from Singapore, South Korea and Malaysia used to come and study our educational system. It is a China which was also looking at us for all our traditions, and now we are behind. We are behind in all the aspects, honestly. Behind in terms of our research productivity, in terms of papers produced per professor or per scientific personnel, also in terms of our total ranking of our universities in global rankings. I won't get into the actual ranking, but none of them are in top 100 except I think our IIT Bombay, NTU, IISc and so on. So the point is, our record last 50 years has nothing to be talked about, honestly. We have just increased the quantity. We have just increased the output of engineers from 50,000 I think in 1960 or 70s to 5 lakh or 6 lakhs. But that's not enough.
So the challenges are really, really wide. And one can go on talking about it and start asking accountability. Because ultimately the accountability always lies at the top, and it starts from government and universities. And I can talk about it in a different forum. But I am not going to do that here today because we are not present here. I am going talking to you who are teachers, research workers. I am talking to you who are managing institutes and who are vice chancellors and who are governing council members and so on. So my address will be sharply focused only on what they should do, because there is no point in saying what government should do, because that will take long years. What will I do differently tomorrow when I reach my office place is what is important to my mind, because action is required by all of us here rather than blaming it and passing it on to many others. So when I talk of challenges that we are facing, let us look at 3 or 4 very important discontinuities or challenges in environment, because any challenges have to address those objectives. And what are those challenges or discontinuities? One, the technology is moving at such a fast pace, and I live it every day. I will not give you the list of all technologies, that will take another time. But I can tell you one thing, that I have lived this industry for the last 30 years, and I have not seen the change in technology as faster as this. And we in IT have been fastest technology changers over the last 30 years. So you can imagine what I am talking. The impact of technology is all there to see to all of us in the mobiles that we carry, the gigabytes that we consume, and so on and so forth. But that is going to accelerate faster. So that's one. Number 2, as I said, we are behind so much globally that there will be pressure to perform on this country, and which means on all of us and all of you. If we don't perform, we will remain as bottom 130, 40 among the 180 countries, which we are in all other aspects. We want to be there. There will be enough pressure on India to perform, enough pressure on you to perform. So pressure on performance is going to accelerate too. So that's number 2. Number 3 is Indian industry, which is what I represent here, is globalizing. We are of course globalized IT industry, but the whole industry is globalizing now, which means the kind of engineers we need have to be at much higher level than what we have today. We of course have been asking and demanding all of you, because we have globalized many years ago, but I think whole India will ask for it. Are you prepared? All that also means that we need not engineers who are engineers, but we want people who are in a discovery mode to find something new, as Professor Narayan Ketkar talked about some time ago. That we don't only need engineers who perform what they do when we tell them what to do. We need not problem solvers. We need actually problem finders, and not in a negative way. Those who create problems, but those who find problems which need solutions in society, in company, in educational institutes. I think we are not preparing people, students, to discover the problems. And I say this even at IITs, because we had a gathering of IIT distinguished alumnus, and they wanted us to tell them what IIT should do next 50 years and write it in one sentence. So I wrote it down there, saying that we want not IIT technologies, but we want IIT discovery technologies. So all that is required to be done. And the problems, as I said, at the top level, it starts from topmost level in the government and educational policies to universities and so on. But I'll focus, as I said, not on that, but I'll focus on what you should do. What you can do, because there is no point in blaming government and universities. They will be
what they are, and we'll try to change them wearing different hats, and hopefully they will. But even in this system, there are colleges which do well, and there are colleges which are not doing well, isn't it? So, they may not be best performing, they may not be reaching their potential, at the same time they are doing better. So, how that difference comes about is what let us focus on. And that difference comes about by two things. One is the governance of the institute. Number two is the teachers and their ability to think and train. Why I am saying that is very simple. I was just looking at statistics. These days getting data is quite easy. 60 lakh people get admitted in colleges of all kinds, art, science, commerce, engineering, medicine. And 6 lakh people get admitted in engineering disciplines. Now everyone complains today that, we are not getting good engineers, and I also complain that only 20% are good and so on and so forth, which is true. But if 6 lakh of 60 lakhs are joining, they must be amongst top 10%, if not top 10, top 20%. So you are getting top 20% of society today in engineering colleges in spite of admitting such large numbers. In spite of that, we complain that they are not good when they come out. So who is responsible for it? I think educational institutions, teaching methods, the way they have been trained. So you have a role to play as a teacher, you have a role to play as a governing body to make that difference. And I will just point out 3 or 4 or 5 things that you could do, which are really important, and which are all based on reality checks that we have from the industry. One is using technology to the hilt. Honestly, I don't think people use technology's potential that can be done. We don't use simple mobile technology, simple YouTube. There's so much of material available today all over the world. I will not get into the details again. But the point I'm saying is the best MIT's whole program is available today. And IIT of course has a large work, what is it called? So on and so forth. Are we using them? Technology allows us to use it. Technology allows to use guest professors in the world to talk to our students. Technology allows us to do, most importantly, one-to-one training to the student. Today, teacher has more time probably because of technology to focus on individual students than earlier. Artificial intelligence and many other things will empower you actually and not make you irrelevant. That's what some people feel. I don't agree. They will empower you to focus more on learning and not on teaching, more on an individual than in the group, more on outcomes than passing marks. Now all these technologies will be as useful as you are going to use it. They are as effective as you think they are worth practicing. So I think you as a teacher has a great role to play to make that happen honestly. And we did not blame anyone else and the system and so on and so forth. We should focus on getting ourselves ready to use technology. And I say this everywhere honestly. I am fortunately involved with the best of the institutes in the country, and I say that also the same thing. So please use technology, and I am not going to give you a lecture how to use it because that will take a long time. But anybody can find that out today, how to use it. The best of the best practices are available with just one click. Just one simple click on your laptop and tell you best practices in the world how to train. How many of us are using it? How many of us are taking care to look at it? Please do that. That's one. Number 2 is industry academia connect has been very weak in this country compared to many others. And industry also has to take accountability to an extent, but you also have to start that process. I have not seen in last 30 years any academia coming and sitting with me and asking me what is that you do. We are your customers. They are your customers, isn't it? Why don't you come and ask us? I am wearing NASCOM hat. I find very few people joining our NASCOM event which happens every year, year after year, last 20 years in Mumbai. You don't even have to travel, but only reach Grand Hyatt, which is where we do it. We discuss technologies and industry issues. How many of you are coming? 50% of your output is technology, right? IT and ICT. How many of you are joining it? I've seen very few. So the point I'm making is, if you don't know your customer, you have no business to be in business, honestly. Pardon me for being very straight, but that's what it is. So you got to be near to industry, then industry also will come forward. I'm not saying we are doing great job, we need to be improving. So the related part of that industry connect is also project-based learning. What is happening is, I've been involved with one university which is experimenting with this project-based learning. And it has been a great experience to me, an eye-opener as to most of the part is not in teaching, but executing projects, more practical experience. And that will only happen if you work with industry. We have so much of work to do. We have so much thing. Because I'll tell you one thing. We conduct hackathons. This year, Master, we conduct hackathon and we get all our... I tell you, the kind of talent is there. I tell you, if you make them lose, they produce we tell them to work on the social issues, like NGOs, we present their problems to them and they come out with solutions. I tell you, they come out with such beautiful solutions. Such talent exists right in your classrooms. Are you exploiting them? I don't think we are, honestly. That can only happen if you take that initiative of project-based learning, one-to-one learning, technology usage, focusing on discovery, and many other things that you can do. Now, next problem is, of course, that not only teachers, students are not developed properly, even faculty is not developed properly. So that is the next stage. So that's where I tell all the management of the schools that how many of you insist on having a PhD? Even if you take person with PhD, then are you insisting that in 5 years time you will get PhD? Otherwise you will lose your job. Are we willing to say that? Because there is so many jobs. I believe there are how many? 2 lakh, 20 lakh teachers not needing engineering, maybe that include science and others. How many of them are PhD? I don't know. So the point I am making is, governance of the university also has to work hard to develop teachers, and they should take up that as their DRA. How many of you are doing doctorate? How many of you are doing postdoctorate? Because if you have to improve research, and I'll come to that a little bit later, but this is very important, that how we develop teachers. And we should measure that every year after year in terms of measurement that we can fix up. I will not talk about the measurements here. So the point I am making is, it's a responsibility of management to develop teachers. We are as good as the students, because all of you are engineers. All of you went through difficult time to get into engineering colleges. Why are you not performing to your best? Because you need to also develop, right? So somebody has to take ownership. Of course, the personal individual also has to take that responsibility. I'm not saying you should pass it on to management, but the management has to create a facilitating environment to make that happen too. So the point I'm making is, please take ownership for your development, and please pressurize governance of the institute not to increase your salary, which I'm sure you must be doing, but also to see that you are developed. How many of us ever strike because I was not developed? I don't know. Nobody has. I have not heard any strike by any employees that we are not developed properly. Most of the time it is because we are not paid properly and so on. So the point I am making is, our objectives are not in the right way, unfortunately. If you are developed anyway, you will get salary. There is no problem, right? We are all here because we have studied, isn't it? We could have just passed 10th and doing something else. The point I am making is, please take ownership for developing yourself in any way that you talk about. Last, I'll also talk about research part apart from teaching. Now, what is the problem with research? See, research problem is with quantity, it is with quality, and it is also with relevance. Quantity because number of papers produced per person is very low compared to China. China has passed us many years ago now. I don't know whether we are going to catch up with them anytime. I was doing some calculations a few days ago. So that is one part. Number two is quality. How many of them are in peer research journals? How many of them are quoted many times? There are enough majors available, I'm sure you know. Very low. And how many of them are relevant to the industry and nation is the last question. Even that is nothing to be talked about, honestly. Now all this will happen if governance of the institute facilitates that to happen by giving motivations, giving credits. In IIMs and IITs, we have at least some system to reward, and I think maybe your college also has it, but we can improve it always. Improve it to see that people do research, and also, as I said, ask for PhD, ask for getting PhDs, ask for getting better output of PhDs. There are programs like TechUpip and so on, we talked about it. So, I think we as industry, we as management of the school, we as vice chancellors, and we as a teacher have enough work to do ourselves, take ownership of output, and have a vision that you are not just training people, you are creating tomorrow's India, honestly. You have a responsibility for creating tomorrow's India by creating these engineers, as Dr. Narayan Tedkar was saying. Engineers does everything that you do. So are you taking that as a mission? Because ultimately mission matters, honestly. You know the story of people that somebody was laying the brick, so they asked him, what are you doing? So one fellow said, I am laying brick. Second fellow said, I am building a wall. But the third fellow said, I am building a temple. And he would be the most successful person. So you will be as successful as the mission that you create for yourself, because that will be overpowering, that will be motivating to you. So you have to take ownership for teaching and research to happen. If you cannot do it, only God can help you, and God will also give up. Thank you.
Sir, your words were quite thought-provoking. Thank you, sir. Another eminent personality with us today is Dr. V.G. Gaikwad. Let me introduce Dr. Gaikwad. Dr. Gaikwad is presently the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar Technological University, Maharashtra. He has also been the Bharat Petroleum Distinguished Professor of Chemical Engineering, ICT, Mumbai. His field of specialization and research includes process intensification using microwave, light and alternative energy sources, thermochemical conversion of biomass, soft condensed matter, reactive separations and designs by molecular modeling, clean technology and innovative practices. His awards and recognitions are commendable. He is a fellow of Indian National Academy of Engineers in 2008 and Maharashtra Academy of Sciences in 2004. He has also received the Young Scientist Medal from Indian National Science Academy in 1992 and the Young Associate Award from Indian Academy of Sciences in 1992 to 1995. He has received the Distinguished Speaker Award from ChemCon in 2013 and IICHE, which is Cordelia Award for Excellence in Basic Research in Chemical Engineering in 2004. He is a recipient for Best Teacher Award from the University of Mumbai in 2002 and the UGC Career Award in 1994. He has more than 164 publications in referred international journals, published 2 books and 3 book chapters. He has 8 patents which are granted and 14 in pipeline. And the number of conference, presentation and invited lectures are 230. May I request Dr. V.G. Gaikwad to kindly deliver his address.
Thank you. Dr. V. Kapurkar, the Chairman, Sri Kadam, Sri Ashim Desai, the other dignitaries on the dais, and all participants. It is indeed a great pleasure for me because it is rare to have occasions where I can share the dais with a personality like Dr. Rao. And also have many kind of discussions during this period about what can be done as far as the engineering education is concerned. I must also thank Sri Kadam because he has been a very strong supporter of Batu. Remember 2 years ago when there was the meeting with the Association of Private Unaided Colleges, he was the one who was instrumental in making that happen. And his Nanded College was one of the first ones to apply for the affiliation. And we are waiting for your Bombay campus to take the decision. And JSC, of course, is Pravaraka. Because Batu, when started, it was in existence for almost 25 years, but only as an affiliating technical university, we are just, if you count really, it's just 2 years. But I think we have taken this as a challenge, looking at what is really happening today in the engineering profession. Mr. Desai has very eloquently said many things which have been even identified by us at the top level in the industry, why we do have issues with the engineering education. We have the industries complaining about the students are not industry ready. They are not employable, they do not have the capacity, they don't know many things. Why the industries do need engineers, they do require manpower. That's the reason a large amount of the time and efforts and the funding is spent by the industry as well to retrain the graduates that we produce. So we have done a lot of, after my joining this university, we did some detailed analysis. Of course, this is very easy to now to get the data. The data which we analyzed was right from how many students appear for 12th standard, how many get the first class that makes them eligible for admission engineering. We did this analysis even for district wise. How many students, what is the percentage in the 10th standard, and over a period what has been happening for the input into several colleges, because you might have seen there is a significant migration of the students from rural areas to the main cities, Mumbai, Pune, Aurangabad and Nagpur. So we say why there is a migration. We remember the migration takes place, the student in fact has a double the cost. It is not just the fees, but also the cost of living in those cities as well. And it gives us also additional input when I did a survey of engineering teachers in the state of Maharashtra. It was a survey done through RUSA at that time. And few of the things which came out, which all I will list out in the process. But one of the points which came out was the quality of teachers. And quality not only in terms of their qualifications, talking about what they are actually doing with their qualifications. It was the most important aspect that we had put up in our survey. You have a PhD, even PhDs from IITs, and yet not doing research once you join the engineering college. So these are some of the aspects that came out. But I thought that I will just build on what Mr. Desai has picked up or said in his lecture. How do we start as teacher when we join teaching profession? And I can tell you from my own experience. I was simply caught by my guide and asked to join. Well, there was a reason for him to ask me to join for the teaching profession. And once you have the basic degree of masters, you are qualified to be a teacher. Right? That exactly continues today. Unlike for other disciplines, where we have the NET, SET, and some of the teaching or pedagogy training. We don't have pedagogy training for engineering courses. That's the crux of the problem. We are not yet realized and how it affects the teachers teaching in the class. We don't have the pedagogical training given to the teachers when they come for teaching profession. Okay? It's a serious, in fact, it has a serious implications when it comes to that. At our time when I joined, we had a 3-tier system like lecturer, reader and professor. Now it has come assistant, associate and now the full professor. But now everybody calls himself a professor. But for us, these 3 levels of teachers had different connotations. It's the person who reads from available resources and goes to the class and teaches the same thing is a lecturer. Right? That is how, at least that was our understanding. The way that we saw our teachers, remember whatever the way, if you are going first time to the class as a teacher, you will teach like your teachers. We tend to do the same thing that we have observed our teachers doing it, right? So you read, go to the class and teach. Your next level comes when you are able to collect resources, analyze it, mix it in a suitable format, and now you are able to teach. And that becomes your next level of teachers like the reader or now you call an associate professor. When it comes to the professor level, this is a person who is capable of professing what is going to happen in the future, not just what is available today. He is a person who is qualified to be called as a professor. Unfortunately, either UGC or AICTE doesn't bother about any of these things. It goes entirely today by whether you have a PhD or not, and whether you have completed sufficient number of surveys as either assistant or an associate professor to arrive at the next level. We are lost somewhere in the process. How the person needs to be taken up from one level to the next level and from there to another level. I must cite a very interesting movie. I don't know whether you have seen the 36th Chamber of Shaolin. I don't know. Anybody here has seen that? Do you remember how the guy is taken through a series of training processes before he becomes a master to call himself a teacher? It's a work like that. When I look at now today is the way teachers become teachers and they grow and they really become master in the subject. It's a challenge. Challenge we describe on the FDPs, the development programs and so on. I'll give you my own views as well on that. But somewhere we have to think about whether the teacher is developing himself as a professional teacher or not. We also see that the engineering teachers forget after some time that engineers also. They become only teachers. They don't practice engineering. Very few. But a practicing engineering stops, particularly after they become professors. It's a time for us to have some introspection there as well. When you talk about teaching per se, or teachers' jobs, today we know that we don't require teachers if we are only going to pass on information. Students are actually much smarter than the teachers today to understand where the information is available and particularly where the exam paper is available. They have a social media available and probably they use a social media to the best way. But we don't find teachers involving the social media for transmission of information or having the group works. We talked of ICT tools. These are ICT tools which are available. Google groups, WhatsApp groups. Do we have a discussion of a teacher with the students about their work or their education or their learning? They rarely use it. Online information otherwise is so much available today that while you are teaching in the class, the students might be actually sitting in the back and checking up what you are saying is correct or not. If you want to be really respected by the students, you should be 2 steps ahead of the students. And this is I learned from my own guide. That is the thing what a teacher should be able to do. That you have to be steps ahead of your students. And only then you can gain the respect of the students. Second becomes a teacher's job, or when you go to the class, I say that the teaching is like a performing art. When an actor goes on the stage every day, he has the same act, he has the same dialogue. But year after year, you might find the same actor delivering the same dialogues, maybe in a very improved fashion, right? What does a teacher do? We teach the same subject, maybe with some modification, year after year, with every new audience. How do you keep your audience engaged? That is a skill of a teacher. So do we keep our students engaged in your learning? And ask a question to yourself. Do I do this? Do I go to the class with just my notes? Now earlier it used to be the transparencies and overhead projector. Today I have PowerPoints. But your PowerPoint cannot become your lecture. It is an ICT tool, yes. But invariably you will find that it has become an easy way of delivering the lecture. You just go to the class with a pen drive, and then you say this is one slide, another slide. I'm sorry to say, but so I see some of the teachers just reading it from the slides, but that doesn't really become a teaching. Somewhere we'll have to now take a call. I'm really teaching. Teaching is inspiring the students. So inspiring the student in the sense that the student should be running behind you after the class for more information. You tell us more how to do it. And there are certain subjects that we teach so dryly, mathematics for that matter. I was just looking at one documentary of BBC, and a very simple how the infinite series have come. And a simple example how the nature has also followed some of those series. Simple like the number of petals in the flowers. If you count them, they actually follow the Fibonacci series. That's an observation converted into the so-called some of the infinite series. Do we make our students interested in the subjects? And that is where I call the teaching should be like a performing art. We graded like the best actor awards. You should have that best teacher award on the basis of how inspiring your teaching. We discussed about hackathon. Remember that there is something what is really important for us to understand is the present generation has probably at the tip of their fingers everything what is available in the world. Everything. Earlier teacher used to be the source of the information, knowledge and so on. Today they don't look at teachers as the source of information. It is available there at their fingertips. How you do not know it, how to use it. That is where the teacher job is coming to. What used to happen 25 years ago is not applicable today. We have to change. The second one is these are smarter. They do have a teamwork among themselves. How do I channelize their energies in doing the work? This is a very important thing for us to know that there are very talented students available. They are smarter. They are talented. We don't use these human resources very well. Let me just share with you my own experience. 12 years ago, I was just attached to Batu as a part of the Techie Phase 2 under networking program, Techie Phase 1. And we were supposed to guide some of the teachers and the students in Batu for research. And as usual, whenever the teachers meet, they always complain about the quality of the students and their disinterest in the studies. He said they are not interested in the studies. So we just 2-3 faculty members of Batu, and I was discussing this, what to do. We cannot just keep on criticizing them. And we said, let us do an experiment. And this is an experiment which we teachers are also good in conducting experiments. So they said, let us do an experiment. I went around in Mahad talked about a few companies that I was associated with, and from each company I picked up one live project, live problem. We came back. Now to the company I said, you don't pay me anything right now, but just give me a live problem that you are interested in solving it. They gave me 5 companies participated in that. We came back, we called the students, third year and final year students, and I told them, these are the problems, you pick whatever problems you want to solve. And allow as many people you want to take in a group, but what I need is, within 48 hours, a paper solution. Now, this is the first time that group of the students were given a choice of this type, a challenge to solve a problem. For 2 days, we observed the students sitting in the corridors, discussing with each other, with their laptops. Of course, the first thing what any student does today is the same thing that group was doing, Google. If there is any ready-made solution available for the problem. I remember these are live problems, they were not listed in any way. So after 1 day of search, and I had given them only 2 days to come back, 48 hours, I want a solution. They spent almost 24 hours to find out if there is ready-made solution available. They realized there is nothing available as such. Then they went to the library. As the time was running short, they literally pleading the librarian, please keep the library open whole night. The librarian came to me and asked me, what did you do with these guys? I never seen these guys in the library in the entire year. Today they want to work in the library for whole night. That's a transformation. But imagine after 48 hours, there were answers, there were solutions, which is ingenious. And they came back with the solutions. When the industry came, I said, I don't want to now find out which is the best solution. Let the industry which has given the project or the problem, let them understand which is the best solution. Each of the industries went back with at least 3 to 4 viable solutions. See, what is important here is we need to challenge the students to think along solving the problems. I always give the example of the Captain Amol Yadav, a non-engineer, not allowed to even fly the plane which he ultimately built, but he built his entire plane on the top, on the terrace of his building. Today, he had no engineering background, but could build his own plane. See, this is where today engineering education is. We have been following the conventional way of teaching, the way we were taught. Our teaching is very simple. You put all the laws, all theorems, and ask the students first learn by heart all these equations, all these theorems. We don't teach them applications. At the end of the 4 years, now we leave him on your own. Go and find out where you can apply this. We need to change the way that we have been teaching engineering. But engineering should become now a problem-based, case studies based. That's the way the management is taught. It has to be done that way. And I have also would like to tell you that please see how the architecture is taught. In architecture, every student has an independent project. It's a creative project. So if you really want to build the creativity in the students, just see how the architecture is. And that is what we should be able to do it. Unfortunately, what happens is the teachers' approaches, I was also a teacher, I'm still a teacher. We say that so many students, how will I guide them? How will I see individuals once? But as soon as you bring down your blah 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 lectures, you have enough time to take care. The other part is industry relevance. Are we, as a teaching fraternity, are we relevant as far as what is happening in the industry? My own survey has shown 82% faculty have never gone to the industry. Maybe you have seen it from outside, maybe you have visited the industry, but never worked with or in the industry. How many teachers take a call saying that I have a vacation? They are all vacational staff. You know, right? During vacation, I will go to the nearby industry, tell them that let me come and sit in your office or your industry for 4 weeks or 6 weeks and let me see what you do. It will be an eye-opener for everyone. You will understand what it means by time management. You will understand what it means by deliverables. You understand then the development of yourself. And there is a performance evaluation. Somewhere it has to be from within rather than a university imposing on you that you do this. Every day, every year, you have to ask a question to ourselves, have I changed? Have I added a value to me? Because when you add a value to yourself, then only you are capable of adding the value to others. My last one I must talk about the societal relevance. Whatever we do, whether we do it with the industry or in a laboratory, is whatever we do is relevant to the society's need. And believe me, there are so many issues that you will find that you can take up for your R&D work. R&D does not mean it has to be done only with the guys with a PhD. You will find in fact many of the innovations which have come in this society have come from the people who have no formal education. You don't require a PhD or even engineering degree to innovate. And if you just look at our National Council, Indian Innovation Councils, there is a report available on the website how when the grassroots level the people have made the changes to their own life and of course others' lives as well. You can select one of them as your project for every year. And most important thing is, you don't look at PhD students to do that job. You already have the students with you. They are very happy to work on the same projects that if you envisage this as an application in the society. And if you can fire them up to take up that challenge, we can do wonders in these days. We don't have to worry about a ranking. We need to worry about what value we add to ourselves. Fortunately, I am in such a position where I have started already doing this as a part of the university's mechanisms. Just last week, we have cleared a proposal that we are sending to the Rajiv Gandhi Commission where we are planning to take up certain projects which are relevant to the industry and to the society, where every college faculty will be involved. In fact, there is a systematic format has been made because everybody wants a format. Nobody wants to do the things on his own. So we say, fine, we will give in the first stage format of industry interaction, right up to the level what kind of questions can be asked when you go to the industry. But once you come back, you have to do your own analysis. It is like a spoon feeding at the beginning. Over a period which we feel that once the faculty even gets trained to a certain extent, they will become the trainers to the others. So train the trainers is something that I am looking for. Because if I train one teacher, you will be able to train 60 students every year. Rather than just emphasizing on that, anyway the students will have to be trained. But if I have a sufficient input even to the teachers first, I am sure that we can do a lot many things in the process. So the first thing which I would like to challenge yourself. Don't look at challenge everywhere else. You look at challenge yourself first. See what you are capable of doing and how to doing this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your tangible message. I'm honored to introduce our chief guest for today, Dr. Anil Kaporkar. Dr. Anil Kaporkar is an Indian nuclear scientist. Dr. Kaporkar joined the Baba Atomic Research Center in 1964 and became the director of BRC in the year 1996. He was also the chairman, Atomic Energy Commission and secretary to the Government of India, Department of Atomic Energy during the year 2000-2009. Currently, he is holding the INAE's Satish Dhawan Chair of Engineering Eminence at BRC. Dr. Kaporkar was awarded the Padma Shri in 1998, Padma Bhushan in 1999 and Padma Vibhushan, India's second highest civilian honor in 2009. He has published over 250 scientific papers. Currently, his key engagements are in the field of energy, education and societal development. May I request our chief guest, Dr. Anil Kaporkar, to kindly deliver the inaugural address.
Chairman Shri Kamal Kishore Kadam, Trustee Dr. Sudhir Kadam, Guest of Honor Professor Gaikar, Mr. Ashang Desai, Director General Dr. Narayan Kitkar, Principal Dr. S. K. Narayan Kitkar, Convener of the Symposium Dr. Shankar, several colleagues and friends who are present in the audience, distinguished invitees, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Well, first of all, let me compliment to the institution for setting up this particular meeting on such an important topic, challenges in engineering teaching and research. Frankly, several important things have been said by my predecessors, and so my job has become both difficult as well as simple. And so I want to begin with a sharing of a little experience. So I have been involved in several activities related to education for some years now. I was involved with IIT system for looking at what more could be done to take IITs to better heights. And I am very happy that almost everything that was said in that report has been implemented. I was also involved with looking at NIT system, National Institutes of Technology. That report was also accepted. That report for implementation, there is an implementation committee that has done very good work. And I would say almost 80% of that report. I was also involved in a group to look at higher education in Maharashtra. That report also, if you look at the new law that the government has enacted, it would seem that that report has been accepted. Implementation of what is said in the report, I think very little. If at all there is something that is more optical. So I see progression, an infinite series which character was displayed. And to me this is a reflection of the larger state of affairs in our country. There is a problem of catching up with the rest of the world. So our institutions of excellence are trying to catch up with the best institutions. There is a problem of numbers, or putting it the other way, there is a problem of access. And some of these issues of access are so daunting that it seems we are actually going backwards. If I could only give you an example, you must have read in the newspapers, we had the national curriculum framework at the school level. And we had a no detention policy in place. And the intention was that we should be able to pay individual attention to students. We should be able to make assessments student by student and put remedial actions in place which are specific to individual students. The comprehensive continuous evaluation and reporting. And once that is done properly, then there should be no reason for detention. In reality, what has happened is, initially everybody thought no detention is a good thing. The complementary part of looking at individual students, their progress, their assimilation, and putting remedial action in place in a student-specific manner. That couldn't be done. So much so I am told that in villages or rural areas, the CCE forms which teachers are supposed to be filling, they are actually available on the Panwala shop outside, and you could get that done at a cost. Nothing to do with activity. So naturally, parents complained. First time, parents realized that no detention policy is actually creating harm. There was a huge pressure. States after states pleaded with central government that no, we need to change that policy, and government actually changed that policy. Thankfully not for all classes, but they have created some. So actually we have gone backward. Why? Because we couldn't implement a reform with the spirit and the manner in which it was supposed to be. So that's the number problem. And I think that's our ground reality. In India, we have to cope with numbers. Ashan did give some numbers, some data. I have actually written a small guest to include in current science on education. So I had done some research. So let me quote some data. It's very daunting. School education, there are 15 lakh schools. Colleges, 38,000 colleges and 760 universities. Altogether, our school system caters to something like 26 crore students who are being taught by 85 lakh teachers. And our higher education system is catering to 3.4 crore students who are being taught by 14 lakh teachers. The enrollment ratio, gross enrollment ratio, begins with 100% because you have right to education policy, and progressively decreases 78% at secondary level, 58% at senior secondary level, and 24% at higher education. This is the number thing. Worst still, the statistics say that nearly 90% students in higher education system, they go to private education. because public funded institutions are unable to cope up. In spite of that, in terms of the total demand, we are not able to cope up with it. So there is a huge pressure. And that's why we find that admission for engineering college, admission for medical college becomes so competitive. This competition has created this coaching class culture. I don't know how many of you are aware, but the turnover of coaching class industry in the country is roughly 4.2 lakh crores, which is actually equivalent to total public expenditure on education and corresponds to around 4.1% of our GDP. So you can imagine where our teaching and research has gone. And I think we need to correct that. In spite of all this, those who are lucky get into higher education system, particularly engineering and so on. The India Skill Report 2017, it says that only 40% of students passing out of Indian higher education system are deemed employable. It doesn't say that all of them 40% get employed. It says 40% are deemed employable. Further, we have today around 25 crore students in education system. So they will come out of education system in a few years. What about jobs for them? So the long and short is, I think education system and the situation around it in our country is great. And I think we should recognize that fact. Now this is just situation as it exists. Now, as Shri Desai mentioned, the world is not standstill, the world is moving forward. In fact, the technology is making changes which are far more rapid these days than earlier times. And so, we are actually worried about whether our students are able to cope up with situation as it obtains today. What about 10 years hence? Will we be able to cope up when things will change? And so that is the challenge as far as the larger number is concerned. While we have some good institutions who are trying to move forward. So I think we need to look at this whole challenge in teaching and research in that context. Let me give you some more statistics. For example, if you look at the money India spends on research and development and compare that with many other countries. We have a habit of comparing ourselves with US and China. They are much bigger. But compare with countries, for example, Israel, China, or Finland, or Switzerland, or Sweden, or even United Kingdom. We spend more money on science and technology compared to these countries. Look at how many technologies we can export to them and how many technologies they can export to us. Then we should ask a question, if we spend more money, why should we not be a bigger technology provider? So when I started looking at this issue, I thought maybe India is a big country, our resources may be getting spread very thin, so they are not producing result. So we said, let us look at per full-time equivalent, how much money is being spent. And the answer is that we spend money per full-time equivalent which is comparable to best in the world. There was also a paper some years back which was looking at the faculty salaries, the university faculty salaries. And of course in India context probably we looked at the UGC scales. And they looked at 28 countries, if I remember right. And ranked which country gives the best salary to teachers and then second and third. India was ranked 4th, ahead of United States in dollar purchase parity terms. All this comparison was in dollar purchase parity terms. So Mr. Ashank Desai is dead right. Let's not complain about government. Government has to do many things, and that battle has to be fought separately. But let's look at ourselves. Are we delivering on what we are expected to do? And then I'd like to say that should it not be commensurate with the money that public spends on us? And this is a big question, and I think answer lies within. Let me now come to some aspects of teaching and learning, having stated the challenge. I'm going to talk a bit random now. For example, when we did the NIT report, we recognized that for engineering students, inculcating design thinking is very important. So we all learn. We learn mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, various disciplines in engineering. We can design a mechanical machine, electrical machine. We understand how materials are processed. But when you carry out a design, you are carrying out a design for a user. A design should perform, so it must be designed using the principles of engineering. But ultimately it's being carried out for a user. So design thinking is a very crucial thing if you want to make a success of your technology innovations in the marketplace. I'm glad that as a part of that recommendation, there is a movement now started here already, but IITs, NITs, IITs was there even earlier, many of them, but it's kind of spreading. The idea is that students must be taught, and this cannot be done by people who have not designed products by themselves. This can only be done by people who have been successful product developers, product designers, who have made impact in the marketplace. And then there are many other aspects, dealing with aesthetics, dealing with human nature, dealing with societal behavior, so on and so forth. So, I think inculcation of that design thinking, and you could do that in collaboration with industry. A lot has been said on industry connect even earlier. But that's, I think, crucial to me as far as we want to make that impact on the industry. Secondly, we teach student subjects. It's true not only for engineering, for everything. I teach I learn mechanical engineering, electrical. Everybody is in compartment. When you are doing a product development or when you are trying to solve a problem is rarely belonging to a single discipline. So when we have these project teams, particularly industry-related projects, I have not understood why do we make a mechanical engineering batch, make 2 or 3 of them and send them to do a project. That's a good experience, useful experience, but it doesn't go far enough. So our recommendation was that you make a group. You make a group of people, of students from different disciplines, right on day one, even as they enter the engineering college. And it could even be a fairly random process, because group learning in itself is very important for students, particularly for engineers. So the intention was, you make these groups, expose them to just look at, put them in under the care of one of the mentor faculty and tell them that first year free for you, just search a problem. But search a problem which has to be very important. Trying to look at a trivial problem because I can do something, I can write a dissertation is actually worthless. If I can digress a little bit, there is an old paper talking about how one should decide on the research priority. It's called Pasture's quadrant. So it divides the space of research aimed at pushing the knowledge frontiers and other research aimed at creating value for the society. So if you have these two axes, you get 4 quadrants. A quadrant which is very high on pushing the knowledge envelope, not really bothered about adding value to society. They describe this as Bohr's quadrant, pushing fundamental research forward. Very important for humanity to go forward. Should that be our priority? Yes, as a good cultured society, that should be our priority. Opposite that is another quadrant where you say you carry out a lot of work to solve a problem. Don't worry about whether it is pushing the knowledge frontier forward or not. Do a lot of empirical work, trial and error work. That quadrant is called Edison's quadrant. That's how Edison brought this work. Obviously, it's very important for the society. Doesn't push the knowledge envelope very far, but important to us. So both these are important, 2 extremes. In between these lies the Pasture's quadrant, which is high on pushing the knowledge envelope, but also high on pushing the value for the society. That's what Pasture did. Exactly opposite to Pasture's quadrant lies a quadrant which is neither high on pushing knowledge envelope nor high on creating value for the society. And that paper calls that quadrant research that goes nowhere. And I have suspicion that a very large part of our research actually lies there, which is worthless. So in fact I have problem many times. You say you must have a PhD, you must have 10 papers, or what? And that's why I think the peer process to carry out this value judgment is the important thing. I leave it there. I came to this to tell you that the problems that you choose must be important. So now you have formed a group of these first year students. You ask them to search for a problem, occasionally engage with the mentor faculty. They choose a problem. Then tell them, by the time they get to second year, maybe you can also get in this some elementary aspects of design thinking, create a good design spine program in the whole curriculum. And then tell them that look, now you have chosen a problem which is important, so which you should solve by the time you pass out of this college. You are obviously not equipped for everything. So, but then you have a set of electives available. Every institution offers some electives. So while making the choice of your electives, please look at the needs of where you should be equipping yourselves to address that problem, address that important problem. And create conditions to give a little special attention to prepare students for addressing that problem, and also motivate them to do some additional learning. Not that everything may be available as a part of electives, but then they can do library work, they can be some individual attention, can be guided to see, read this, read that, study this, and prepare students for that, so that by the time they actually do their project in an intense manner, in the third year or fourth year, they actually, it's a group of engineers from different disciplines, but they create things. Now, Mr. Diker talked about the industry connect, and we have a program running under both TIFAC at Delhi, under DSP, and also under Rajiv Gandhi Science and Technology Commission, where we have an engagement between an engineering college and industries, where we expect students to solve a live industry problem. So the definition of problem is essentially created by the industry. There are several problems. The students and faculty choose some of them, but work with the industry and solve that problem for the industry. And this is running for 3 colleges in Maharashtra and another 4 or 5 colleges in the rest of the country. And children have done wonderful. There is also another activity supported by GIZ, German organization, which runs at Aurangabad, around the industry cluster around Aurangabad, where similar activity is in place. And I must tell you that this kind of industry connect has made a tremendous impact on students. In fact, some of them, when I talk to them, what are you going to do? So they said, no, हमारा startup शुरू हो गया, because they have done. I say, no, this you have done for the industry, so that will be carried forward by the industry. They say, we are happy about it, but we will either join that industry or create something else of our own. And a few products, these are all handful colleges, but I think in terms of the proportionate success, if you see, I think that success is tremendous. More than that, I think such children, they, in fact, you are actually creating not job seekers, but actually job providers. Which should be one of jobs. So many students, where are the jobs? On the other hand, there are so many problems. There are so many development challenges. So, according to me, engineers in this country have a huge opportunity because we have so much of development space to cover. So, if we, through our teaching, through our research, if we make them capable, then why worry about whether they will get a job or not? Just empower them to do, create their own enterprise. And that, I think, should be the focus of our education from now on. Let me turn a little bit to, we are now, as I said, we should always begin with what we can, and I just highlighted a small example. I think the domain is very large. But as I said, the future is not going to wait for us. There is the problem of dealing with its numbers. So only a week ago, I saw a news item. How do you address this issue of numbers? This issue is with us, this issue is also with China or similar countries with large population. Chinese people have already taken recourse to artificial intelligence for in education, and more particularly for looking at children about how they are able to assimilate what is being taught in the class. So if this is a class, there are cameras reading faces of each individual and trying to figure out whether the student has understood, whether the student is taking interest, and so on and so forth. And we have this problem, no, today. You have to carry out examination of a few lakh people, so you end up in objective question. You ask a question, choice A, choice B, choice C. And believe me, majority of the students answer those questions not because they have understood this, but by process of elimination. And this was actually told to me by some of my colleagues from IIT, even in JEE. Physics professor, in one of the JEE exam, when the paper came out, he found that the question was very difficult. So he said, it took me several hours to figure out what the question is and another few days to figure out what the answer is. So he was very curious. So when the class resumed, the batch came, first class, he asked, how many of you answered such and such question which was there in JEE? So a few students raised their hand. So he asked them, what was your answer? He was very surprised that all answers were correct. So he suddenly had great respect for the batch student he has got. And here are students who are much brighter than him. So then he started talking a little more about it. He said, but how did you address that? How did you answer that? And then figured out that understanding of these students about that subject was very little. So this is what is happening with objective evaluation. Artificial intelligence provides you answer to address that. You can look at, you can ask a question, ask students to narrate, give their answer in a long narrative form. You can get the machine to read that, not only read that, but also figure out whether what is the value of that answer and evaluate. And so technology can today carry out that kind of an evaluation with large numbers. And this experiment is going on in China on a batch of something like 60,000 students in different places. And they're targeting that by 2030, they will change this whole teaching, learning, evaluation thing to be able to deal with these large numbers. Should we also not do these things? Should we also not prepare ourselves to do that? So Ashank bhai, you are an IT person. I think this could be one beginning of an industry-institute collaboration.
Yes.
So, because I think these are big challenges before us. Last word about research, and then I want to make some closing remarks. According to me, I don't look at education, then go for research, and then as you go. According to me, at higher education level, teaching and research have to go hand in hand. In a higher education institution, if there is no research, guaranteed your teaching will become obsolete in no time. And then in a new institution, it may find that well, you have very good teachers, you have students are performing well, but 10, 15 years down the line, this will become stale because you will teach something what you learn. Higher education, you are actually teaching students at the boundary of knowledge in that area. And that boundary is moving, that boundary is expanding. So for teachers to be able to cope up with that expanding boundary, their engagement in research is a must. So they have to go good teaching. There are many ingredients, but teaching in the environment of research is a very important part of that teaching environment. And at the same time, many times you get into research institution where you say, oh, I'm so busy in research, where is the time for teaching? And then a few years down the line, you start complaining, no, I don't get any young people to learn. So you cannot sustain good research unless you are engaged. And so I am of the firm opinion that the two have to go absolutely hand in hand. And it's only with that, and particularly if there is research is located in pastures quadrant, as I said earlier, then you will find that you are taking institutions to a great height. It will go very rapidly. And to begin with, whether you are doing PhD programs or not is actually irrelevant, as was said earlier. But you must engage yourself on important problems. And if there is teaching, research, student engagement going on around these important problems, rest assured that the quality of education would, in fact, simultaneously a point was made that most of our higher education institution teachers, primary school, secondary school, we insist on education qualification. There are P8 or there is a teacher's diploma and things like that. There is nothing like that around higher education. So in the NIT report, there is a recommendation which has been implemented, is that they should create a stream of recruitment for faculty right at BTech level. That is, you recruit as trainee faculty, not regular faculty. Trainee faculty is somebody who is, but not ordinary BTech, who is within top 5 or 10% of the that and put them in IIT for their post-graduation, possibly going up to PhD. But the coursework for such an activity insists that while some coursework would be oriented to the speciality of the individual, but there must be this teaching courses, teaching related program. So when they come out, they know what teaching is. And that also is very important, a point which was, and if you look at three domains, the society, the economy, and the knowledge part. Our situation has been society and economy are always engaged. Everybody has to earn a livelihood. So there is a strong linkage between society and economy. It has always been. What is the nature of that linkage? That nature is by and large transactional. You give me something, I give you something. You don't keep worrying about iska fayda zyada hua, iska fayda kam hua. So it's all driven by fayda kya hai. Knowledge domain in our environment is there, but it is little remote. It neither engages very well with the society nor engages very well with the economy. So much so, there are Puritans who feel that if you allow economy to interfere with knowledge domain, it will pollute. So the old timers, they will say, no, paise ki baat alag hai. That's not the situation in the so-called more advanced society. And that cannot be the situation in the so-called evolving knowledge era. In knowledge era, the knowledge domain has to be necessarily very deeply engaged with the society as well as with the economy. And that's what is the situation in most of the countries which have advanced. We are just beginning to kind of move in that direction. I think the early days for our time. But when knowledge engagements becomes thick with the domains, what will be the nature of transaction? Then the thing would be, oh, this is the problem, I can solve it this way. Not the thinking that, oh, this is the market, I buy technology from somewhere and make it. This is what by and large happens in the world. It should get transformed to, this is the problem, let us do some work on it and solve it. So you actually move from a kind of an ordinary trader's transactional mindset to an entrepreneur's mindset. And I think the real wisdom in society, not that it does not, we have many very wise men, they keep on preaching all around, we also learn. Such preaching, you go attend that preaching, we feel very nice. Maybe night we will reflect on that. Maybe every day we will decide that. But it doesn't get into our regular practice. That is separate. Whereas once you are in a deep engagement mode, then actually you don't require preachers. The values will evolve right within as a result of your own work. And that's where I think we'll turn to a wise society. And I think we have miles to go on that. And the only route for that to happen is good teaching and good listening. Thank you.
our Honorable Chairman to kindly deliver the presidential address for today with your enriching experience and thoughts.
Honorable Honorable Vice Director, our great philosopher, friend, Mr. Menon sir, our director, Narayan Khetar, Junior Narayan Khetar, Dr. Sudhir Kadam, Honorable Member. The dignitaries on dais are solution providers. I have come here to seek solution. I have to sell my product. Day in and day out. No employment for me. And you have to search what is wrong with us. Because the engineering system or whatever we are teaching is our product. My product, Narayan Khetkar's product, and faculty. If these trained engineers are unable to meet the requirements of society, then what we are doing? What is our business? That we have to choose. And all of you, Honorable Kakurkar Sahib, Raikar Sahib, and Ashanti, they have given us the best guide. Because unless the education system is competent to meet the requirements of the society, your product will not be sold. कागज की डिग्रियां लेके नौकरियां मिलने वाली नहीं. आणि काकोडकर साहेबांनी सांगितलं किती जणांना जॉब देणार. You should be job provider, and you are asking, you are making jobs. You will have to think. I remember when I was in engineering school, and we were afraid of very much of design. One day, Professor C.K. Karun, he entered my classroom in our back class. Very smiling fellow. From dais he declared, I am going to teach you design. Design is a very easy subject. In 3 steps you can do this. analysis of forces. Second, analysis of stresses. Third, provide the required input. Any difficult structure can be designed. Analysis of forces, dead load, live load, wind load, earthquake impulses, this thing, 100 forces. Analysis of stresses, compressive stresses, tensile stresses, shear stresses, this stress, that stress, and enforcement. Maybe steel structure or reinforced concrete. He made that subject very easy. And from that date, I have not forgotten the key three principles of it. Mr. Narayan Khedkar knows, one of our colleagues, Dr. Ram Pune. When all engineers were confused, which stadium? Indraprastha Stadium at there. 500 meters span. No in-between structure. And it is to be designed is to be given in 2 weeks. The fellows came to IIT Bombay. He was working at IIT Bombay. And the design was given in 1 week. I asked him, Doctor, how you made it? He said, you forgot. Professor Kirby. 3 steps: analysis of forces, analysis of stresses, and provide the result. I applied these 3 steps and finished the design in 1 week and handed over to them. The teacher should infuse confidence in his or her students. How many of you can do it? Are you confident that you are infusing confidence in students, that he can solve any problem under sun? Dr. Belpula said me, you give me any problem under sun, I will solve it, I have got the solution. And that confidence is infused by Dr. Karve. So for the system, education system, these are my straight thoughts. But I feel the curriculum should be balanced one. Curriculum should touch all the requirements of engineering needs. Curriculum should be balanced one. To teach that curriculum, the teacher should be competent. And with balanced curriculum and competent teachers, practical on-spot training is essential that assigned essays have, he can provide. Because for practical training investment, IITs, forget about IITs or NITs or national level institutes. The state level government colleges, private colleges, they cannot provide that much. That is the major problem. But all these engineers are to be provided trade. I must thank Professor Thakurkar sir. For this college also, you have given helping hand. Bhabha Atomic Research Center, Mr. Suri, he has taken us to you. And for all research projects, BARC has extended helping hand to you. If such helping hand is given almost all government departments, government organizations, and big industries, engineers can become competent. First thing, competent teachers, and first, in-plant training. These two things are very important, and if these two things are given to the engineer, I think we can sell our product in market. I must thank K.G. Narayan for organizing this conference, because deliberations in this conference will give solutions to many more difficult problems. You prepare a book or what you say, simple proceedings of this conference and circulate to all the engineering colleges. Let us come together and find out the solution in whatever difficulties we are facing. This conference will be a good success, I hope. I thank all.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable thoughts with us. As a token of appreciation and gratitude, we would like to offer mementos to the chief guest and guests of honor. May I request Chairman, sir, to kindly honor our today's chief guest, Dr. Anil Kapurkar. I request Chairman, sir, to kindly honor our today's chief guest, Dr. Anil Kapurkar. May I request Chairman, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
There are many ways to express thanks for services received and or gifts given. In a large formal of settings, one of the best way to acknowledge the efforts of those responsibility for the event is the vote of thanks. Respected dignitaries on the dais, Chairman Sri Kamal Kishore Kadam, respected Director General K.G. Narayan Kedkar, Honorable Trustee members, respected Principal S.K. Narayan Kedkar, respected Chief Guest Anil Kapurkar, guest of honors, the Asham Desai and Professor Jaikar, dear delegates and deans, faculty members present here, a very good afternoon to everyone. Education is one of the most important factors in achieving development goals of the country, and innovation and innovative education pedagogy will enhance the quality of teaching and research. The students receiving the higher education, this in turn will serve as an important component of India's transformation into a developed nation. This national conference on challenges in engineering and research is organized to share their teaching and their research efforts. The roots of all goodness lie in the soil of appreciation of goodness. We express our heartfelt thanks to our respected chairman, respected Sri Kamal Kishore Kadam, AVM Trust, and the honorable trust members for accepting our invitation and allowing to conduct this national conference in great manner. We thank you, sir. Gratitude is only the greatest virtues, but the parent of all others. We are also grateful to our respected General, Director General Dr. K.G. Narayan Kedkar for all of his encouragement, suggestion and support for conducting this conference and his opening remarks of the objectives of the conference. We thank you, sir. Let us be grateful to the people who make us happy. They are charming burners to our souls, our bosoms. We express our deep-hearted gratitude to our beloved principal, Dr. S.K. Narayan Kedkar, for his gracious presence and for his welcome address for the conference. We are very much thankful for all your suggestion and support for conducting your conference in the grand manner. Thank you, sir. No duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. Today,
The NGMCT is filled with pride and thankfulness for having the most distinguished chief guest, Anil Gatorkar. We are wholeheartedly thankful for your presence and your inaugural address, sir. We are very thankful to Sri Ashant Desai and Professor Dr. Vijay Gaitar. This is important event is slightly graced of your presence, sir. Not what we say about our blessings, but what we use them is the true measure of our thanksgiving. We also received the wishing measure information from our Chief Minister of Maharashtra and Directorate of Technical Education. Thank you, sir. In absence. Great thanks to entire participants who made become reachable. I would like also to thank to all the participants who made this event graceful by their presence and enlightened this venue with their knowledge to share their research to improve and their innovations. One man can be a crucial ingredient on a team, but one man cannot make a team. Finally, I, as a conference coordinator and a team member, would like to share a sincere thanks to all my faculty members of computer engineering, biotechnology and biomedical and chemical and first year department who worked sincerely and dedicatedly as a team in different aspects for the conduct of the successful event. Coming together is a beginning, staying together is a progress, and working together is a success. Devote yourselves to prayer and keeping alert in it with an attitude for thanksgiving. I thank you all once again for your presence. I also thank our conference committee for giving me an opportunity to present the vote of thanks before you. Thank you.